Everyone, a rogue firework in a Fargo hotel parking lot has left a local family without a vehicle and most of their belongings destroyed.
The pickup fire happened early Monday morning at the La Quinta Inn and Suites on 2300 block of 46th Street South.
Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley spoke with the family today, who say they hope this is the wake-up call both city leaders and firework enthusiasts need to make changes.
Everything is gone. There's nothing I can salvage out of it.
Ken Hunter and his family have been living here at the La Quinta Hotel for a couple of weeks now while looking for a new house. And in an effort not to clutter their small and temporary living quarters, most of the Hunters' belongings were stored here in their truck.
It's still very difficult for me to still comprehend what happened.
When the Hunters got home from firework watching Sunday night into Monday morning, Hunter says there were still dozens of people lighting off fireworks near the hotel, despite being illegal in the city of Fargo.
I know staff were telling people, you got to stop. But you know how people are, nobody likes to listen nowadays.
And just an hour later,
we were in bed and all we heard was somebody yell, call 911, fire. And that's when I looked out the window and the entire back of my truck was on fire.
Fire crews quickly responded and had the blaze out within half an hour. But both Hunter's truck and everything inside is a total loss, including his 2-year-old daughter's car seat, diabetes medicine, and her baby photos.
We lost everything of hers besides the clothes she's got.
Hunter says at this point, all they know is the fire started from a firework, but officials have yet to identify those responsible.
If they're willing to accept responsibility and help take care of the problem, then no, we wouldn't seek charges.
Adding it's time for firework rules or enforcement to change, so no other young families have to endure pain and a loss like this. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
A GoFundMe has been set up for the Hunter family. You can find that link on our VNL News app. Just click on this story.
Pretty decent day out today, certainly less smoky. Hutch is here to tell us what to expect tonight. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Mike. We are enjoying some quiet conditions and still comfortably cool as we take a look at the National Satellite and Radar. Notice a whole lot of nothing going on in the northern plains, minus clouds, showers, and thunderstorms. In the Pacific Northwest are heading our way. That will impact some of us as we go through the day tomorrow. Here's the cool pool associated with that cooler north flow that we've had over the last 24 hours. Some 60s around the Great Lakes area for us, low 70s. And that means tonight, if the old ice cream truck is chugging through the neighborhood, you can take your time eating that ice cream sandwich because, well, it's not going to melt too fast. As we take a look at your forecast, we'll be dipping down into the 60s after sunset tonight. We'll still have a few clouds passing overhead, light south winds. All in all, fair conditions here and in Grand Forks as well with 60s after sunset. Coming up, looks like we'll have a chance of some rain showers. The best chance will come Thursday night, maybe even a few severe storms. I'll have the latest in your forecast in a couple of moments.
All right, thanks, Hutch. The Minnesota BCA has released the name of the suspect, an officer involved in Sunday's shooting. Isaiah Hopkins was taken into custody and is in the Clay County Jail on an unrelated warrant. The officer involved is Andrew Work. He has been on the law enforcement force for 5 years and is on standard administrative leave. The BCA investigation of use of force is ongoing at this time.
A man is in jail tonight for stabbing a woman in a hotel lobby. 75-year-old James Bogart was arrested for aggravated domestic assault. Police say he has no permanent address. Around noon, officers found a woman with multiple stab wounds in the lobby of the Wingate Hotel in South Fargo. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Moorhead police on the lookout for a potentially armed and dangerous man after a woman says he shot at her house early this morning. She says it was a random attack. It happened in the 400 block of 7th Street South. The woman says her daughter was letting her dogs out in the backyard just before 5 this morning when the man asked if he could come inside. After the woman's daughter said no, she says the man fired 3 shots toward the house, shattering a window. Police say the suspect is a black male between 5'6" and 6 feet tall. He was wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt. Stick with Valley News Live as we continue to follow this developing story.
The prosecution continues to build its case in the trial of a man accused of shooting and killing a Grand Forks police officer. North Dakota BCI agents took the stand today, indicating that the apartment hallways were littered with bullet holes. Salama Pendleton is accused of shooting 2 people, including his mom and Officer Cody Holte. Holte was called in as backup to help deputies who were serving an eviction notice in late May of 2020. There's more uncertainty for the embattled Africa International Restaurant and Nightclub. The general manager, who signed on July 1st, is gone effective today. Not only was Stephen Baird the GM, he represented them as an attorney. No explanation was given. Fargo City Commissioners last week suspended the liquor license for the nightclub. The move coming because of various problems, including a shooting outside in the club's parking lot in which an employee died.
Trouble today at Fargo's Homeward Animal Shelter. They're so overcrowded, they're stacking crates of cats and dogs on top of each other and in hallways and offices just to make room for them all. Homeward has 164 dogs and cats in their care right now, but they only have room for less than half of them. They sent out a plea on Facebook asking people to sign up to foster the animals.
So we're just running out of kennel space altogether. We've had to board dogs that were, coming out of the pound, that there's no place for them to go here at the shelter.
Without enough foster homes, the shelter is having to pay to board those dogs at the city pound. After their Facebook post last night, 4 animals have been adopted and 17 new foster applications have come in.
Speaking of numbers, North Dakota had more than 18,000 online job openings in June of 2021. Among the 22 non-military major occupational groups, healthcare practitioners had the largest number of job openings at a little more than 3,200. Job openings in the transportation and material moving come in at second with more than 1,600, and office and administrative support in third with more than 1,500 openings.
The Department of Health is scaling down its COVID operations. Since December, the department has laid off more than 300 employees and are letting leases on COVID testing machines expire. A lot of it has to do with the need for testing or lack thereof. Last year, the state spent millions of dollars bringing in new equipment and employees to make testing a 24/7 operation. In December, the state was conducting more than 10,000 tests a day. Now it's doing roughly 1,000.
There was a lot of demand for instant information and instant results, and I dropped my specimen off to you 15 minutes ago. Why isn't it done yet? That pressure on us has lifted quite a bit, I think, because we're in that rhythmic testing pattern now.
Not only is there a reduction in staffing, but the lab has returned to regular operating hours and cut back its overnight crew. One thing the department will be keeping is its testing network. When demand for testing was at its highest, North Dakota was sending tests to be done out of state, and they built a process with other labs.
Longtime North Dakota Secretary of State Al Jaeger will not run for re-election in 2022. He's retiring at the end of his term as the second longest serving Secretary of State in North Dakota history. He's second only to Ben Meyer, who served from 1955 to 1988. Jaeger said he's never wanted to be anything other than Secretary of State.
In many states, a Secretary of State's office is sometimes considered a stepping stone to a higher office. I've never wanted to be anything else as to a different position.
When Al Jaeger took office, the Secretary of State didn't have a website. He has since overseen many modernizations of the office, including the installation of a real-time election tracker.
Coming up, how a 9-year-old Minnesota girl was able to save her little brother from drowning, and some swimming tips that could save your kids' lives.
After a long and very hot month of June, we started out the morning very refreshing. Mid-40s in Cavalier and in Can-Do as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures still in the 70s. We've shut off the smoke stream from Canada. Your forecast includes a chance of rain. I'll have the latest weather next.